Hello everyone, this is Miguel with the Secret Stage. I am here to review with you guys the game available on Steam called The Next Penelope, Race to Odysseus. Now if you guys heard our podcast a few episodes ago, I reviewed this game and gave my thoughts and opinions about it. I wanted to actually show you guys to have our actual video reviews, how I wanted to see how this game was, so I can show it off to you guys, my thoughts and my opinions on it. But I've already played the game through twice already. First time through I played it with the keyboard, second time through I played it with the joypad. I thoroughly enjoyed the game a little better with the joypad controls as opposed to the keyboard controls. Probably because you had better control and better feel for it. The story is pretty much based on Greek mythology, as of course by the names. I would start a new game that we get the story for it, but because if I start a new game, all the data that I have previously on my save file will be deleted, so I'm not going to start a new game. But pretty much you still get the gist of the story if you start up from load game. Something new that came up was a playable beta for a 4-player multiplayer. This is a local multiplayer only, so I unfortunately do not have anybody available with me at the moment to play multiplayer, but you can hook up at least 4 joypads to it and have each individual person play with their own joypad, or you can actually have 4 people playing on the keyboard themselves, which I don't know how that could be possible, 4 people sharing one keyboard, but it's how they have it. Maybe they might expand this into a 4-player online beta, but we will see. This is still an early access game. Let's go ahead and start with the meat and bones. And by early access, it means that the game will be is being developed as the game is, being beta tested, as it were. But because they're close to release, they'll be releasing it probably sometime at the end of this month or maybe early next month in June. As you can see, I've already defeated every stage in here except for the bonus stages, where they get unlocked. All the extra stages get unlocked after you defeat the final level, which is Odysseus. I will show you that stage later. A few things I want to mention here is that this is your world map. You can go you can start in any order you want, but when you first start up a brand new game, this is the only stages that you can play right now. Is Ithaca Island.
Get ready. 3, 2,
See,
1.
3, 2, 1 countdown. Racing game, go. You're escaping that thing, and as I said, using the joypad, the controls, you can just have better feel for your racing. And what this game is pretty much is a racer slash action slash shooter, as what it was described to us when we were told to, hey, check out this game. So what we're doing. So far, you get the basic idea. You're racing to the end. So you're pretty much racing, getting to the goal.
Congratulations.
You gain experience points for every race that you beat, and as you beat certain stages, certain worlds, you get new weapons.
Get ready.
Smash
3,
boost here that
2,
you play.
1.
And because I've already beaten the game, I have all the weapons available, which you can play throughout the world map. It tells you here, tutorial how to use it. Boost to break through objects, because it's a smash. It's a boost smash is what it was. You're smashing obstacles. Simple, really. Easy to get a hold of. Good to grasp onto the concept of it. Can't really say much about it. It's a pretty solid, as a racer part right here, it's pretty solid. It seems to be more of an adventure type game than it is for a racing game. It does incorporate racing elements to it, as you can see here. And here's where we actually start the first race here. Of course, if you're starting up a game brand new, you start the game here. Now, a few things I wanted to talk about the racing aspect of the game is, this is a racing game. I would assume I would have a racing game being played throughout the course of it. Being, you know, if you end up first, second, third, you get points for it. But since all the races for this game is you need to be in first place all the time, it makes it a little bit more of a challenge. I'll say that. It does give it more of a challenge to play.
Weapons activated.
And or it's an easy race to win. You just use all the tools that you get available, like smash, use those to refill your energy gauge, which this game has, so that way everything that you use, your boost, your weapons, waste energy, and you need to be very conservative with it instead of being racing recklessly like I was right there. But because I want to get through most of the time frame and everything,
Congratulations.
through another finished race. I would say the story is a little bit lackluster. I really don't care much for the story. I just skipped through it and just started playing the game just to get through it. The few things I wanted to have a drawback is that you really need to grind to get all the good perks for the game. I mean, really grind. Because when you look at here, the experience, I've already maxed everything out. It's a total of, I don't know, 2,400 experience points that one needs to earn. Now, let's say I'm starting up from the beginning. I can reset the values to redistribute the experience points to set the course of what you need. But because I beat the first stages, let's just say and I'm adding up more experience points to it, let's go ahead and put those 40 points that I had extra onto recklessness. This means that I haven't hit the maximum speed boost bonus at all. So I gotta keep going and playing. Now, each world themselves offers a brand new weapon every time you beat it. The next one would be Orbital Ruins. Obviously, there's different achievements for defeating certain zones and certain areas and certain times and so on. And that's cool. Let's just go ahead and go to the next stage. If I'm assuming that I'm playing, just start fresh. I'll go to the next one, Orbital Ruins. Mines, everything.
Get ready.
That gives you tutorials on all the weapons that you get. So that way you're not going in blindly with the new weapons that you get. You always go in and you start playing it through. You just drop mines to collect enemies. Now, one of the few things that I realized playing this game is that as you play, you notice that most of the races end up taking almost the same paths every time. So you can constantly set up the trap. So that way you can constantly be hitting. That way you can constantly be regaining your energy to health while wasting your racing. There we go. Now, you can see my control and everything is a little bit off. It's so zoomed in, it's kind of hard to judge when you're turning. There's a few things about this game that, you know, makes it kind of hard, it makes it difficult. It makes you just want to experience.
Congratulations.
So that way you can get all the boost points, pretty much. That's pretty much what I did playing this game, going through.
Get ready. 3, 2,
yeah, this
1.
is another race that you have to win. If you notice that little square block that comes out through the block that you have there, it's pretty much like any other racing game that you get you a boost at the start of the race, which is alright. You know, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's a good thing when you're toting a racer game. And I'm just gonna stop here. I'm gonna go ahead and exit the level out. You guys pretty much get the gist of idea of the race. You know, finish him first always. The few things that I don't like about the game is that you have to, all the race segments you need to beat 100% first place. There's no leniency on you have to be in, so you can get second place and don't worry, you'll end up in first. That kind of deal. Now, as I'm refilling all the energy here, this is what I meant by experience grinding. It's because you have to reach that point, that little line that you see right there, the total max, to get the ability. It makes it harder to, not makes it harder, but it makes it a little bit of a grind, as it were. That's why it's called experience grinding. You just gotta get it so that way you can unlock all that to give you an edge, an advantage on the game itself. And how I said, that's pretty much what I did, and maybe what a lot of other people that purchased this game did as well. They just level grinded on the first 3 levels to get every perk that you can get with it. Now, the few stages that I do like, I like the Charon stages, or Ekron's Vapor stages. No weapons, it's pretty much racing at its, you know, skill set, basically, while I'll show off the stage here.
3, 2, 1.
As one you can see here, you know, it's your normal race. It was how it was in the first one. But the downside is, when you get to the edge, you fall off.
Ready. 3, 2, 1.
Simple as that. And pretty much you just take your skills and just race through and get to the end of the stage as quickly as you can. Well, not quickly because you're not given the time for it, but you still need to be careful with all the hazards, like right here, and those little spinning things, rods, whatever, those will destroy you. This one pretty much just gives you the overall sense of, I guess, urgency to make sure that you have your skills right. And that's how I said with the experience grinding, it lets you have that ability to have better steering, better control of your vehicle, as it were. I missed that jump boost, but it's okay. As you can see, it's a really good. Like I said, these kind of games that give you the skills, it's pretty fun when you have these kind of levels. See?
Get ready.
Just gotta be careful with those traps. Alright, pretty much I showed this off already for you guys, so time to get on to the other part of the game, the final part. Spoiler alert, so if you guys haven't played this game or anything, this is a, you know, spoiler. Once you finish everything, I'll just go ahead and skip the story if I can skip it, so that way you don't have to get to it. But once you beat every stage and all that, you unlock the final stage here, which is the boss battle. Which, as you can see, completely different than what the rest of the game entails. You know, it's a shooter, pretty much. You still have to manage your energy as you're using your weapons, but it still does what it does. It drains your weapons. You have to manage your energy, you have to manage your time, you have to manage your weapons and everything. This is one of my favorite parts of the game, honestly. I like shooters. I've always been, you know, wanting to play shooters. This one, these few stages actually make it pretty. It's actually a pretty challenging boss fight, to say the least. Or if you don't know how to manage your energy right, or do what you need to do to succeed in the boss fight. As you can see, I already got half of my health. I needed to regard to come to the boss fight. But as you can see, I'm using the last part of my energy. I haven't even finished the boss's health down to quarter at. Oh, I've gotten to a third, less than a third already. As you can see, I have no chance to recover at all. I have to use the mines to recover my health. But because this boss is so mobile, it's kind of hard to plant those mines to land a good shot on them. So, yeah. difficult boss fight, which is good. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad boss fight. It's really good. It makes you challenging enough to make you conserve your energy, figure out exactly how you need to hit. So the boss's patterns are pretty simple. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty simple boss pattern. Once you get it down pat, you'll be able to beat the boss easily, conserve a good amount of energy, and not have to go about it. I spelled already, you know, my shield and one of my energy bars. I've already gotten the boss down to half health. But as I said, the developer got a good shot at this part of the game. I think they nailed the shooter part of this of the game down right pat. I seriously enjoy this fight a lot. If they made a game, if or whoever the developer was decided to make another game, make a shooter like this, because a shooter game like this I really enjoy a lot. You know. And it makes it so that we have to take, even if you take a big aspect of it, you know, having to conserve your energy and all that to be able to take bosses down or to take enemies down, make you think how to conserve instead of just shooting blindly like most shooters on the games are. It'll make it good, pretty good and fun. I'm just gonna keep going for a little while here because as it is with all final boss fights, there's always multiple boss endings. Oh wow, I forgot about that. That's ready.
3, 2, 1.
Anyways, that's pretty much it for it. Once you defeat the game and get 100%, how I mentioned before, you get the time trials, bonus missions as it were, to escape. Let me go ahead and try it out real quick, because I haven't tried any of these out.
Good luck.
It's a good end game.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1.
It's a very good end game, as it were. Not very good, but it's a good end game bonus to add on to the game. So that way, when people are done playing it, they have something else to play with. The goal is to get out in 60 seconds. Okay. So, if I was more focused, I probably would be able to get this, do this. But since I'm not as focused as I am playing, I'm just gonna stop playing. That's pretty much it. If I were to give the game a score, it'd be a 6 out of 10. You know, it's worth your time if you enjoy this type of game, this kind of racer. I enjoyed it for a little bit, but my opinion still stands. It's pretty bland. It's not as entertaining as it were if it was an actual racer, or if it was a shooter. If it was one or the other, then it probably would have gotten a higher score, because I would have been more focused entirely on either the one thing or the other. But since it's a mixture of the two, it makes it kind of difficult to figure out what you're doing.
2, 1.
You know, with the energy conservation being, you know, very detailed for it, it's kind of frustrating, as it were, in some takes of the game. Pretty much, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys here. Try to finish this out. These are my final thoughts on the game. It's a worthwhile if you enjoy these kind of games. If you're not all that into it, then it's not the game for you. But overall, if you guys want to give it a try, you guys are more than welcome to. This is available on Steam, how I said. You guys can purchase it for, I think it's $10. So, give it a go if you're interested in it. I wasn't too fond of it one way or the other. I'm not so.
Get
I
ready.
wasn't so fond, but hey, if it's your cup of tea, go for it. It's available for you guys. Go ahead, play it. As for me, these are my opinions on it. It's an alright game. It's an alright game. I enjoyed it to the fullest, as much as I could. If you got the joypad, Xbox 360 controller, go for it. That will be your better option in playing the game than playing on a keyboard, since I've played in both versions of both controller styles. And that's pretty much it. Our thoughts on the next Penelope is it's an alright game. It wasn't astounding. To talk about a few other things about it, the music, the audio track is great. I think they nailed it spot on. The art direction that they had going with it, it went pretty well. It fit the theme that the game was going with. So those are its pluses that I enjoy. It's not taking away anything from what my thoughts and opinions on the gameplay is, though. It's just, the audio and the game and the art are fantastic. They went very well together. They married well together with the game and the graphics for it. So that's awesome and amazing. Other than that, thank you so much for hearing our thoughts and opinions, and thank you for watching our review on the next Penelope. Hopefully we have our next video review up soon. The other games that we have down on the docket. Please listen to our podcast, which is usually about on a weekly basis. Right here on Twitch, we record our podcast live as we demo indie games. If you're an indie developer and want to be featured on our podcast, please contact us. We'll have our contact info on our podcast pages. And if for any other of our podcasts or convention news, please look at our parent site. It's scarlet-rhapsody.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SR_SecretStage. You can follow us on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/SecretStage. You can give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/SecretStageGames. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well at youtube.com/SecretStageGames. Thank you so much for watching, and we will sign off by saying game over and winners don't do drugs.